Hi there, Leo. Welcome to a relationship reading for July 2019 called Where Did Our Love Go? And I will tell you what each position means. I have my trusty little, what do you call it, template. I created the spread last week, and I will tell you what it all means after I lay out the cards. Sorry if you hear my chair creaking. I don't know why it's doing that, but it's every time I lean over, it's doing that. So, wow, so far 3 major arcana cards. Make that 4. Okay. The crux of the problem is the Temperance card. Temperance is connected to the sign of Sagittarius, so fellow fire sign. And, you know, it's really funny because we always are told, oh, you get along great with other fire signs. But let's face it, that's on paper. People are individuals. So, you know, if you are literally dealing with a fire sign like Sag, you may be having problems, and that's just how it is with two people that happen to get together. Now, to me, the Temperance card, even in the upright position, could be issues related to balance, you know, staying on an even keel. The two biggest ones are addiction and mental health, okay? When you're dealing with a person who is inconsistent in their behaviors, you know, some people will talk about having a partner who can't keep a job. And, you know, that kind of thing, we just say that as a statement, but there's so much more to the story. Because if you really probe and find out what's going on, it can be that that person doesn't get along with other people because they have a personality problem. They have like an emotional disorder, something that makes it so that they alienate themselves from others. And usually a mood disorder like that, where the person is sometimes on an even keel and then they get triggered in some way and they, you know, like bipolar. By the way, I'm not diagnosing anything. I get some people say, oh, you shouldn't be saying anything and you're diagnosing. I'm not diagnosing anything. I'm using a label. Obviously, I'm not a mental health. I'm not a mental health expert that's doing tarot spreads. There might be some out there, but I'm just trying to find some way to describe it. And so those kinds of people exist. They may be like really good people. Sometimes they can be problem people. I'm not going to just sugarcoat it. Yes, sometimes. But if you have gotten together with one of these types of people, Leo, hopefully you are attracted to people who treat you well and who treat other people well normally. But sometimes you may not see that side of them for quite a while, and then you're kind of like left trying to figure them out. The other thing is with addiction. I did pick the Temperance card in the upright position, but maybe it's somebody who has, you know, who was in recovery, as they call it, when you met them, and now you suspect that they're drinking again. You know, we never mentioned that scenario where you meet somebody when they're not doing, when they're not using, and then they go back to it. So there's that kind of thing. I see with the Temperance card, it's really about a balance in life. I guess you could say somebody who is, you know, even on your end, maybe you are a workaholic or something like that, and you don't have enough time. I think I even had something like that with Leo recently. I feel like I'm entering not into the Twilight Zone, but some kind of deja vu situation. So in any case, something is like too extreme or imbalanced in your relationship with somebody. In the past position that's contributing to this, we have the Judgment card. To me, this is like a card of, if this is on your level, perhaps you have been changing. Remember that you went through an eclipse cycle, ending, I think it might have even been last January, which is, I can't, you know, time goes so quickly. I'm trying to remember the last Leo eclipse. Maybe that was January of 2018. I know, you know, I know we're in the Cancer Capricorn eclipse season, but sometimes they will have, what I noticed is they had a Leo eclipse at the same time that they were having the Cancer eclipses. So, in any case, you may have been going through a rebirth. That's what this card can represent. Let's just say, maybe not right now, but in the last couple of years, you may have changed a lot of things in your life, Leo. Maybe you have gone through the same kind of thing. You've gone through the fire. You know, you have had issues and you had to get sober or something, and maybe you met this person in recovery. The point is that you may have been changed in some way, and now you are dealing with somebody else who may be acting out in a way that seems familiar to you because you have been there and done that yourself. And in that sort of case, I notice that happens sometimes, where someone gets sober, somebody cleans up their life in some way, improves their life, and they attract somebody who is where they used to be. It's kind of a weird thing, and it's just possible that you're still attracted to somebody based on who you used to be, or that you run in the same circles, you haven't kind of changed your social life, your social connections, and so you tend to attract the kind of people that represent who you used to be, and that might point to a larger need of things to change. But you know, we don't just get rid of human beings in our life. So I can understand if it's a process for you. The Judgment card is also a card of cause and effect. Sometimes people refer to karma as cause and effect. I have changed my view on karma to some degree, but that works for me. If it works for you, then fine. But that idea of, you know, things coming to fruition that that you've planted seeds in the past, whether they were intended or not, that are coming to fruition. And the thing too about the Judgment card is that it's a card, it could be just talking about literal judgment, like where is your judgment? Maybe you realize that you haven't exercised the best judgment for some reason, and you don't really know what to do about it. The spiritual insight is represented by the Queen of Swords. This is a card of needing to put your feelings on a shelf. Not get rid of them entirely, but have your intellect really take over. And look at whatever your dilemma is in a more reasoned way instead of an emotional way. And a logical way, in other words. The advice, well, pretty self-explanatory. The Death card. Endings, transformation. And you know what it kind of suggests to me? That you are undergoing a lot of transformation, maybe even still, Leo, because the Judgment card is number 20, but there's actually the World card that comes after the Judgment. And that's the final card. So you may still be going through a process of change, and it can be that when you let go of something or someone that really you're not resonating with anymore, and maybe that person is threatening to drag you down with them in some cases, that by identifying this and letting go of that person, that your transformation will be complete. Maybe that's the final piece in this situation, is that you need to let go of someone, and it's been very hard. What to expect as a reaction, from others, including maybe that other person. We have the Nine of Wands. This, to me, almost reminds me of like something I was reading about narcissists, that sometimes they will ghost you. In other words, they will, or discard, they call it the narcissistic discard, where they will be very intense with you, and then they will be the one to kind of leave. So an example would be somebody who has an addiction. Sometimes this can be also a sexual addiction, or they are cheating on you while they are using, if you will, and they decide to go off with that other person, and it could just be like not even telling you that they're going off. And then they, right when you're getting your life together, that's when they show up, and it's almost uncanny that they come back right then and there. And so what I feel with this Nine of Wands is, be careful that if you are currently dealing with somebody who kind of comes and goes, and they are gone right now, don't think that they're not going to come back, because they could very easily come back. And unless you are willing to be on high alert, you may not realize how much of a possibility this is, and you will just let down your guard. The Nine of Wands is about having a wall up sometimes. So it could be that somebody else doesn't want to hear what you are trying to say, and that may be their tool of manipulation. If they can completely shut you out, maybe you'll change your mind and not go through with it. So don't be one of those people that just totally gives in to what somebody else is up to. And be, vigilant. Realize that someone else, that other person may, they may shut you out as a tool of manipulation to make you feel guilty, to make you feel like you're doing something wrong. You're mean, you're bad. And, they can just totally get cold. For some reason, Aquarius came into my mind, your opposite sign. The potential outcome is the Emperor. Now, this simply can mean that you are taking control of your life. That you are no longer at the mercy of somebody else's moods, mood swings, dysfunctional behaviors, where they want you to bail them out and things like that. And that is a great thing, Leo, because you don't want to be somebody who is constantly trying to rescue people. People who are grown-ups have to learn how to take care of themselves and stop depending on other people for their own well-being. And the Leo may feel needed in those moments, but it's not a healthy dynamic. So don't fall for that. Okay, that's what I have for you, Leo. If you'd like a personal reading, please click on the link below. And I wish you all the best in July. Take care. Bye.